LaMelo or Simmons? It's got to be LaMelo for me tonight. Like both, but I like LaMelo more. What's going on, Matt, Nick? Power forwards on FanDuel. I think Christian Wood is a lock. Then the second spot is tricky. I mean, I think that's going to be the trickiest spot for everybody on here. Oh, what's confidence level out of 10 on FanDuel lineup tonight? I'm loving it. It is one of my favorite nights on FanDuel, actually. To be honest. The only tricky thing on FanDuel, I think, is deciding that second power forward spot and then figuring out who you want to play at center just because there are so many good options. But what's going on, 1TZ? Let me throw on some background music, and then we will get to the most recent news and answer some questions for you guys. Because, yeah, a lot to break down. A lot of things ended up breaking. A lot of people in the video that I talked about, I'm no longer on. If you guys are part of the Patreon, you will have seen the changes that I made in the game notes and why I'm off some of these guys. But most notably is going to be the Joel Embiid situation. The guy that ended up telling Matt that they were going to be playing into the third quarter last game, talking about the 76ers, mentioned tonight that he does not expect He expects Joel Embiid to suit up, but not to play that much. So that takes me off of Joel Embiid. And then obviously they're going to be without a bunch of guys. If you guys watched my video earlier and haven't been up to date with what has happened since then, Tyrese Maxey is also out tonight. So we are expecting to see Isaiah Joe and Furkan Korkmaz enter the starting lineup. Both of them are great plays, but specifically Isaiah Joe. He has played mid to high 20s minutes lately. And Doc Rivers had mentioned that he wants to get an extensive look at him, and that has come into fruition the last couple of games, and I think we see even more of that today. And he should dominate usage, especially in the second half I expect Joel Embiid to sit. But even in the first half, with the current roster that they have, he should do very well in the minutes that he is given. Insider info season, yeah. Let's get it, Sam. We playing heavy tonight? Let's go. Let's get it, man. Yep, Maxey is indeed out now. Play both net studs on FanDuel. I think that you need to be playing both those guys. Steve Nash mentioned before their last game that while you don't want to play your starters like mid-30s minutes, you also don't want to play them a low amount of minutes and then throw them into the fire once the regular season gets here. They played 23 and 24 minutes last game, so I'm expecting James Harden and Kevin Durant to see at least 23, 24 minutes. I think they are the best spend-ups on the slate. Kevin Durant being my favorite of them. Other favorite spend-ups are going to be guys like Ja Morant, De'Aaron Fox. The Kings are going to be without Buddy Hield, Marvin Bagley, which I was already expecting, but now also Tyrese Halliburton is out, and so is Tristan Thompson. So we're probably going to see an extensive look at these backup rotational pieces. That's the word we've gotten from some of these beat reporters. So guys like Terrence Davis, Alex Lynn, Davion Mitchell are going to get a longer look today, more so focusing on Terrence Davis at a weak small forward position. He is sub 5K. And I think he plays all the way throughout the game. I like him a good bit today. And then, of course, De'Aaron Fox, I think, is a great spend-up option on the slate. But probably my favorite point per dollar play on the slate might be LaMelo Ball. These spend-up point guards are great and all, but LaMelo Ball is in a similar situation. The Hornets are going to be without Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, Mason Plumlee, and Kelly Oubre. I think he plays mid-20s minutes, and he is like 6.5K, I believe. Let me get his exact price so I can let you guys know. He's very inexpensive. Yeah, 6.5K. And, he struggled last time, and he's still somewhat salvaged. I think he shoots better today if you look at his rates. And he's facing a Miami Heat team that really doesn't play their starters at all. Jimmy Butler is out for the Miami Heat today. They all rested last game, but Kyle Lowry, Bam Adebayo, and some of these guys are going to return in this game, but I don't expect them to play into the second half. I think Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson continue to get extensive looks into the third quarter, but the defense really takes a hit in the second half, and I think LaMelo Ball gets out there on the court in the third quarter and does his thing, especially without those guys don't really have a big sample size last year with all these guys out for LaMelo, but you could safely put his per minute production at 1.2, 1.3 fantasy points per minute. Fox or Joe on FanDuel? It's going to be Fox for me. 5,100 utility, not Joe or Davis on Sengun right now. It's going to be Alperen Sengun. So, yeah, that is some of the biggest news that we have gotten, and that is in the first game. So, we got word that Eric Gordon, Daniel House are going to miss this game. They've already been sitting out anyways. Or at least Eric Gordon has. And so Jayshawn Tate is going to enter the starting lineup. He is the minimum price. So he is definitely viable on this slate. If you guys need a cheap guy, $4,000 for Jayshawn Tate. I'm expecting him to play, like mid-20s minutes today. And then we also heard that Coach Silas said that they are going to take it easy on the older guys on this team. Now, they don't have very many older guys, but they are DJ Augustin and Daniel Tice. Those are the guys that he was talking about. So if they are going to see their minutes come down, Tice has been the starting point guard, Christian Wood at the 4, and Alperen Sengun has been the guy as the immediate backup to Daniel Tice at the 5. So what I'm thinking is that Daniel Tice probably plays in the first half, and then Sengun starts the second half, and Sengun probably plays 20, 22, 24 minutes in this game. He's only 4.9K, an elite per minute producer, and the Toronto Raptors have a very, very small, undersized front court, and I think Sengun can take advantage of him. And then I think guys like Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr. on the Houston Rockets, their minutes are even more secure than they already were. They're set to play 28, 30 minutes in this game, and I think we see that at a minimum. I think that they could get into the 30 minutes. I could definitely see them playing into the fourth quarter. They've shot a million times. They garner all of the usage on this team. I love all three of those guys on the Rockets: Alperen Sengun, Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green. Melo going off tonight. Yeah, I love LaMelo. LaMelo's part of my core tonight. LaMelo, Durant, Fox rank on DK. Point per dollar is probably LaMelo first, then Durant, then Fox. Yeah, Matt's right. Yeah, so Sengun played 8 first half minutes last time, and that was with Daniel Tice, playing his normal minutes. And so if that gets cut back a bit, maybe we see 10 minutes from Sengun in the first half, which is good for him. And then he might start the second half and play like 12 minutes. So 22 minutes from Sengun, that's very, very good. The only unfortunate thing is that he's going to be playing the same position as Karl Anthony Towns, as Yusuf Nurkic, I think are two of the best plays on the entire slate. And then you're also playing him at utility, assuming that you're playing one of these other centers, and so you're avoiding one of the really good guards tonight. There's a lot of good plays today. I try to condense it as much as I possibly could in the Patreon, which, by the way, guys, if you guys want to know exactly what I'm doing tonight, without having to wait for me to answer your question, you guys can join my Patreon. That is linked down below. And if you guys are new here, haven't done so already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video. DM, okay, I got you, Matt. I'm assuming we got some news. LaMarcus Aldridge is resting. Killian Hayes is expected to go. Doc Rivers says Tyrese Maxey told him that he should be playing tonight, which is funny because I saw a report just before I went live that Tyrese Maxey was warming up like he was ready to go. Who is expect 20 to 25 minutes for the Kings? Okay, so that's good for Fox. Okay, let me get to some of you guys' questions. Rockets my team, but I think Scotty Barnes is going to have the game of his life. Could be. I mean, he's pretty expensive on DraftKings. If you're playing on FanDuel, I think it's fine. Look, I was trying to find a sample size last year with all 4 of these guys off the court. Whoops, let me bring this up. Ball or Nurkic straight up? Probably Ball. Close though. KD playing. Yeah, KD playing. The Nets should be playing into the third quarter. I'm expecting mid-20s minutes out of Kevin Durant and James Harden. OG and Nurkic or Edwards and Fox? OG and Nurkic. Favorite center on FanDuel is probably Nurkic for me. But, everybody is going to gravitate towards Yusuf Nurkic tonight, and Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, obviously on FanDuel there's no pricing, but on Draftkings, he's only a couple $100 more, and Towns has, maybe more upside than Nurkic on this slate, and he's going to be far lower owned. They dropped his price just way too much, and it was promising to see the minute uptick from game 1 to game 2 from the Minnesota Timberwolves. So if that trend continues and they play mid-20s minutes, man, he is a great play on the slate. He's an A-tier play for me as of right now. And if you wanted to play him over Nurkic, I would feel comfortable doing that. You guys could play both of them as well. Best utility under $7,200, probably LaMelo Ball, and then Kevin Porter Jr. Assuming you already have Nurkic as well. I like Nurkic too. Favorite center on FanDuel? Yeah, probably Nurkic. Terrence Davis or Larry Nance? Terrence Davis for me. I was on Larry Nance a lot more earlier than I am right now. I like Terrence Davis a bit more. Morant or Harden on DK? Harden for sure. LaMelo Ball, Larry Nance, PJ Washington, Embiid, Porter Jr., Mann, Nurkic, GBP. I'm probably not on Terrence Mann, but I like the rest of that team. So maybe if you want to mess around with something like that. And I'm not on Embiid as much anymore. I think Embiid's still fine in GPPs, but I'm really skeptical on how much he ends up playing. How do you feel about 3 Raptors? I mean, they have probably the most secure minutes on the slate. We know outside maybe the Rockets guys. So guys like Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, I mean, they're pretty much expected to play mid to high 20s minutes. Especially on FanDuel, I think you should be playing some of those guys. On DraftKings, they're priced up so much that it's hard for me to get to them. And then Precious Achiuwa, with Ken Burch being active and debuting in the preseason, I think that cuts into his minutes a little bit. Embiid fade and Showdown too risky? No, I think you can definitely get away with playing him in Showdown. I believe that he probably plays the first half. So he can definitely get it done in that time. We've seen it time and time again, with Jokic, with Luka Doncic. These stud players can definitely get it done in limited time. Just a half, they can score 40 fantasy points. And I mean, we can almost expect those rates out of Joel Embiid. I'll go over it for you guys real quickly if you didn't watch my video earlier. If you go back to last year with no Ben Simmons, no Tobias Harris on the court, we get Joel Embiid 168 minutes, averaging 2.07 fantasy points per minute. He has a 47% usage rating, also leads the team in total rebound percentage and assist percentage. So even if he only plays a half and only plays 16 minutes, he could definitely score 32 plus fantasy points. I just trust the minutes in Kevin Durant and James Harden, De'Aaron Fox, John Morant. I think that they end up playing probably 10 more minutes than him. Now, won't have as good of a per minute rate, but I'd much rather take the chance in getting into those minutes. Adams in play for you? No, not for me. Best power forward on FanDuel, Christian Wood, 100%. Larry Nance, playable. Yeah, he's playable. He's playable, just not on him as much. Ja or VanVleet? Probably Ja for me. I mean, it's close. Oh, I also wanted to mention, actually, now I think I prefer VanVleet to Ja, because Goran Dragic is out in this game, and so that he's going to be replaced by Gary Trent Jr. in the starting lineup. And so Gary Trent Jr., not much of a ball handler that Goran Dragic is. So the ball should be in VanVleet's hands a bit more tonight than they have been in recent games. And we already know that OG Anunoby and Fred VanVleet are going to rest tomorrow on the second leg of a back-to-back. So, or in their next game, rather. I can't remember if it's tomorrow or the next day. And so, they're probably going to push him to 30 minutes again and then rest them the next game. So, Fred VanVleet, great play today, especially with Goran Dragic now out. What about the Pels? You off them now? I wasn't really on the Pels all that much outside of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is being overlooked like crazy. I found this crazy stat earlier. The first 6 quarters of the preseason, Nickeil Alexander-Walker was just doing everything. He was going crazy, shooting well. And then his last 6 quarters, he has been playing very poorly, shooting very, very poorly. But, the minutes and the opportunities have been there for Nickeil Alexander-Walker. People were burned by him last time out, and so that's going to lower his ownership, as well as there being just so many good guard plays on the slate. But at $5,900, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is way too cheap. He's way too cheap. But, this guard position is just very, very stacked today. So you're going to have to pick and choose which guards you want to play. Would have been playing trash at the 4. He was more productive at the 5. Yeah, fantasy-wise, he's way better at the 5 than at the 4. But that's the case with most of these guys. Another reason why P.J. Washington is a decent play today, more so on FanDuel, when he's playing at the 5 as opposed to the 4, a lot easier to score fantasy points, closer to the basket, more opportunities for putbacks, easier baskets, and rebounding. You think the Rockets will cover the spread? I do. What's it at right now? 3.5? I was looking at that earlier. I think they can. What do you think about Cat? Yeah, Cat is a great play today. I love him. I love Nurkic a lot more. Nurkic is going to be crazy chalk because of everybody being out on the Trailblazers, and I feel really confident that he plays 23, 25 minutes. He played 23 minutes last game. I think he could get up to like 25, and I think that Towns probably ends up playing similar minutes to him. He averaged over 1.4 fantasy points per minute last year, only a couple $100 more, and nobody's going to play him compared to Nurkic. His ownership is going to be far lower. Fred VanVleet or Terrence Davis? Fred VanVleet for sure. Thoughts on Fred VanVleet, Green, Tate, KD, Nurk, Ball, Davis, and Joe? That lineup is stacked, Zach. I like it. Change up a few things. LaMelo, Nah, Terrence Davis, Barnes, Hartenstein, KPJ, Larry Nance, Fred VanVleet. Yeah, I like it, Brandon. Jaren Jackson Jr. or PJ? Jaren Jackson Jr., if you have the money for that. I need another power forward on FanDuel. Christian Wood is who I have now. Probably PJ Washington. How many players are out from Miami? Jimmy Butler's out. All of the questionable players that were out there are out. So like KZ Okpala. Actually, let me bring up my notes. So for the Miami Heat, they're going to be without Victor Oladipo, obviously, and so is Jimmy Butler, Gabe Vincent, KZ Okpala, Marcus Garrett. All the guys that rested last game are pretty much playing this one outside of Butler. Not or Edwards. Probably not for me. You like PJ over Millsap with no LMA or Clax? Yeah, I probably still prefer PJ. I don't trust Millsap all that much. And, they could really spread the minutes around. Even with those guys out. Ball, Green, OG, Triple J, Nurkic, Isaiah Joe, Murphy, Simmons on DK in a 3-man tournament. That good? Yeah, I don't mind it. I'm not really on Trey Murphy. He's like a fine secondary play to me. He's played about 30 minutes every single game, and that's probably not going to change. So I think he's fine, actually. He's been really good on the boards lately. So if that continues and he's not going to be as scoring dependent as I originally thought, he's definitely fine at that price. But I like the rest of your team. $4,700 forward. Let me bring up my cheat sheet real quick. $4,700 forward. It's probably Larry Nance Jr. there. If we get word that Joel Embiid is, limited or not playing, I would go down to Paul Reed there. You like Precious on FanDuel? I don't mind him. So originally I wasn't going to consider him at all because Ken Birch is debuting in the preseason tonight. But they said that he's only going to play in short stints. So don't necessarily hate Precious as much anymore. But I don't think he's going to play nearly 30 minutes like he did last game. I think he probably ends up playing low to mid 20s minutes, which definitely makes him viable on this slate. Pistons or Grizz tonight? I like the Grizzlies. A Butler out. Hero makes a lot of sense. I feel like he'll be able low owned too. Yeah, I mean, he's going to play decent minutes in the first half, and then in the third quarter, I'm expecting Lowry, Bam Adebayo, Tucker, all the rest of the starters to sit in the third quarter, in the second half, and Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson to get extended looks again into the third quarter. So Tyler Hero is more than in play today. 4,300 forward on DK for cash. Probably Paul Reed for me. Paul Reed or Korkmaz is 44. So yeah, Paul Reed for me. Davis over Hero on FanDuel. I'd rather have Hero. Fox or Morant on FanDuel. Man, that's tough. Probably Fox. That's tough though. 6,800 utility. Kevin Porter Jr., LaMelo Ball, Tyler Hero. Probably in that order. LaMelo over Kevin Porter Jr. Sorry though. LB a good player. I'm not on LB. Top power forward option on FanDuel, Christian Wood. Like Barnes on DK. I think he's too expensive. I think there's better spots to go to. I mean, if he's your last guy in and he just fits there, because I know Ford is pretty weak today. Like if you have 7,700 left, you need like a small forward or power forward. Yeah, I think he's fine. But yeah, Reed or Tate. Tate is probably safer for cash games. Reed and GPPs. And guys, make sure to join the Discord linked down below. It's completely free to join. Once news breaks, which it will throughout this slate, I'll make sure to let you guys know what to do in there. And if you guys are new here or haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button. Would really appreciate it. That's the #1 way to support me. Yeah, subscribing is very, very important for me. Edwards or PJ Washington, DKGP. Go with Edwards. Or thoughts on Max Struss? I don't like him all that much with everybody healthy now. LaMelo or Ja on FanDuel. Ja for me. Nah or Simmons on DK. Nah is probably safer. Van Fleet or Harden on FanDuel. Harden. But I'm playing both. 6,600 guard. Let me take a look. 6,600 and below. LaMelo Ball for sure. And if you already have LaMelo Ball, probably Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Any love for Bam? No. I don't think he plays into the second half, so he's pretty much out of play for me. Best forward under 6,500 or rebuild. Yeah, it's probably Anthony Edwards there. But maybe look to rebuild. But, I mean, I don't mind Anthony Edwards. He should be well over fantasy point per minute, and the minutes are trending up for the Timberwolves. He could see 23, 25 minutes in this game. So, if you like the rest of your lineup, play Anthony Edwards, and I'd feel good with it. Still high on Simmons on FanDuel. I don't like him very much on FanDuel. I think that the point guard and shooting guard spots on FanDuel are pretty clear cut today. More so of a play on Draftkings, although he is priced around some very, very good plays at the guard position. Fox or Ball on FanDuel. Fox. Favorite value play? Probably Terrence Davis, Alperen Sengun. Probably my two favorite values. If you want to know exactly what I'm doing today, you can get my full FanDuel lineups and DraftKings and FanDuel stuff in the Patreon link down below. Hartenstein over 20 minutes. It depends if Zubats is out. If Zubats is out, Harry Giles, Isaiah Hartenstein become much better plays. I still believe that they only probably play around 20 minutes, but that's more than enough to get it done there. But with Alperen Sengun in a much better spot, I prefer him to them, even if Zubats is out. Edwards or Anunoby on FanDuel. I'm going to go with Anunoby there. I think his minutes are much, much safer. Best small forward on FanDuel, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant for sure. How long is Lowry playing? I'm not sure. If we look at Spoelstra in the past, it's probably not that much. So, yeah. Barnes or Murphy? Probably Barnes. Probably Murphy there. How long? Oh, whoops. Yeah, I love it. I love those FanDuel guards, man. Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Edwards, Scotty Barnes, Nurkic, LaMelo, Nance. Nah, thoughts? I think that's definitely viable. Ja or Fox on FanDuel? Yeah, that's like such a tough question. It's probably Ja for me, though. LaMelo and PJ way more desirable now with the main Heat defenders out. Yep. Hey, I'm new to the stream. I subscribe to your channel. Turn on post notification. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys haven't hit that post notification, would really appreciate that as well. That's awesome. Best forward play under 5,900. Yeah, forward is just so weak today. I mean, probably Miles Bridges for me. Or go down to Terrence Davis. This is the last Clips preseason game. No starters, 22 to 27. Yeah, if that's what you think, yeah. I don't think we've gotten any confirmation on the minutes exactly. If that was the case, I would be more so on Paul George. Morant or Ball on FanDuel? Morant. But it's damn close. I mean, the three point guards that you want to play on FanDuel is like LaMelo, Ja, Fox, and it's really hard to decipher between those. Book Night Sneaky, he's gonna go under owned today. He could grab the start for Terry Rozier, but he was the direct backup for Terry Rozier. So even if he doesn't grab the start, he's gonna play big minutes and he's gonna shoot a lot when he's out there. And he's gonna close out the game. Yeah. Final, I promise. Ball, Simmons, Terrence Davis, Sengun, KPJ, Nance, Fred VanVleet. Good luck tonight, bro. Yeah, I love that, man. Yeah, if that's the case, yeah, Paul George would be like an A-tier play for me. My Twitter. Okay. Where did you see that? Porter or OG on FanDuel? I like Porter more. Yeah, so I think Jayshawn Tate is definitely viable in cash games today. Why Davis over Nance? So Nance has been coming off the bench directly for Robert Covington, and so there's a chance that he doesn't even grab the start today, and I question how many minutes he really does end up playing. And it's not like he was playing next to Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum all that much anyways. Nurk or Town straight up on DK. Good looks my way. Probably Nurk, but damn, it's fucking close. Yeah, Boucher, I like that. I think that's definitely fine. Man, I am not seeing this. I asked to report last Clips game, and that's what he sent me. I am not seeing it, William. Where did you send it to me at? Oh. Oh, okay. As the preseason progresses, coaches tend to begin utilizing rotations that more reflect what they will use in the regular season. Last season, Ty Lue's first year as head coach of the Clippers, he played his starters no more than 15 minutes in the preseason opener. By the second game, they played 17 and 20, and in the final preseason contest, each starter was between 22 and 27 minutes played. Fans can probably expect similar progression this year, and this is their last game. Yeah, so Paul George would be like an A-tier play for me. Best forward and under 5,100, probably Terrence Davis, and yeah, maybe Larry Nance. You like KPJ over Hero? I do like KPJ more. Fox, Ja, Harden, Van, KD, Anunoby, Grant, Achua, and Nurkic. Don't mind that. Not really on Achua, but yeah. PG and Green versus KPG and Edwards. PG and Green. PG and Green if, yeah, with that news. All right, guys, it is lock time. I appreciate you guys being here. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. Best of luck tonight. I'm going to be here tomorrow, so make sure to subscribe, have your notifications on, like the video, because it's going to be coming out pretty early, 7 a.m. Central Time, as usual, and I will be live streaming again. Once news breaks further along into this slate, I will make sure to let you guys know in the Discord, or somebody's going to post it in there. But yeah, appreciate you